Let's talk about AI in our jobs. The big question isn't if it's going to change things, but how. And a really fascinating report from the World Economic Forum doesn't just give us one answer, it gives us four. So let's dive in and unpack the possible futures of work in 2030. This image, it just perfectly captures the whole debate, right? By 2030, is this hand going to be building incredible new things with AI by its side, or is it going to be, well, replaced? Is AI our new partner in crime, or is it a competitor? The crazy part is, even the experts are completely divided on this. And get this chart shows you just how deep that uncertainty runs. The World Economic Forum asked a bunch of executives, and look at this. More than half of them expect AI to displace jobs. But on the flip side, less than a quarter think it's going to create new ones. That is a massive gap. It tells you that even the people at the top, the ones making the decisions, have no clear consensus on where we're headed. So, how in the world do you plan for a future that's so unpredictable? Well, instead of just throwing out one single prediction, the report does something really smart. It pinpoints the two most critical factors, the biggest unknowns that will shape what happens next. Think of them like two giant dials. Depending on where those dials end up, we get a very, very different world. Okay, so the first dial is the tech itself, AI advancement. Is progress going to be exponential, just radical, mind-blowing breakthroughs happening at lightning speed that completely reshape entire industries? Or is it going to be more incremental, just a steady, gradual improvement that we slowly fold into how we already do things? This is basically the vertical axis of our future map. The second dial, well, that one's all about us. It's workforce readiness. Are we, as a global workforce, going to get the skills we need to actually use all this new AI? In other words, is that readiness going to be widespread with lots of people ready to go? Or will it be limited, where only a small handful of people are really prepared for this AI-driven world? And that right there, that's our horizontal axis. And here's where it gets really cool. When you plot those two big uncertainties against each other, the speed of AI and our readiness for it, you get this brilliant 2x2 matrix. It creates four distinct quadrants, and each one represents a totally plausible, logical future for the year 2030. These aren't just wild guesses. They are structured scenarios based on how these two powerful forces could play out. All right, so let's take a look at these four possible worlds of work. We've got supercharged progress, the age of displacement, the co-pilot economy, and finally, stalled progress. Now, this table is so telling. Look at the trade-offs here. In both supercharged progress and the age of displacement, the two worlds with fast AI, productivity goes up, which sounds good. But look what else goes up. Unemployment and wage polarization. That's inequality. The only scenario where things stay pretty stable is the co-pilot economy. This tells you something huge. Just having better tech doesn't automatically mean a better life for everyone.
Okay, first up, supercharged progress. This is the world where AI advances like crazy, and our workforce is totally ready for it. This is a future of incredible speed, innovation, and a whole lot of disruption.
So the report paints this picture of massive economic growth. We get brand new jobs we can barely even imagine now, like agent orchestrators, people who manage entire teams of AIs. But, and this is a huge but, the pace of change is so fast that our social structures, our laws, our safety nets, our ethics, they just can't keep up. And that creates this immense tension and widening inequality. Now, let's flip the coin and look at a much, much darker possibility. Scenario 2, the age of displacement. This is what happens when AI advances exponentially, but our workforce readiness is limited. Basically, the technology leaps light years ahead, and most of us get left in the dust. In this world, companies don't just automate for efficiency. They automate because it's a stopgap. They literally can't find people with the right skills. And that kicks off this vicious cycle. The economy might be growing on paper, but society is fracturing. You see mass unemployment, people get scared and stop spending, and social stability itself is at risk. It's a world of incredible technological wonders, but also profound human struggle. All right, after that doom and gloom, let's look at a much more optimistic scenario, the co-pilot economy. This is the world where AI progress is more steady and gradual, and our workforce is ready for it. It's a future built on humans and machines working together. So the key word here, the one to really remember, is augmentation, not automation. AI isn't there to replace people. It's there to be a powerful co-pilot. Think about it. Human AI teams, where the tech handles all the boring, repetitive stuff, which frees up people to focus on what we do best, complex problem solving, creativity, and strategy. It's a much more balanced, human-centric vision of the future. And finally, we land on our fourth scenario, stalled progress. And in some ways, this one might be the most frustrating of all. It's what happens when AI progress is only incremental and our workforce readiness is limited. It's a world of just unfulfilled potential. So in this future, the AI isn't powerful enough to spark massive new industries, but it's just good enough to automate a lot of routine jobs. And because the workforce isn't prepared to move into higher skilled roles, you end up with a stagnant, two-tiered economy. The big AI revolution we were all promised never really shows up, and all we're left with is frustration and more inequality. Okay, wow. So after walking through those four wildly different futures, you're probably asking, so what on earth are we supposed to do now? Since we can't know for sure which path we're on, the World Economic Forum proposes a set of what they call no-regret strategies. These are actions that are just smart moves, no matter which of these scenarios actually unfolds.
So what are these strategies? Well, really, they're all about closing that gap between technology and people. Take aligned technology and talent strategies. That sounds like a mouthful, but all it means is you don't just buy a bunch of new AI. You invest just as much in the people who are going to use it. Or invest in human-AI collaboration. That's about actively designing jobs where AI makes us better, not jobs where AI replaces us. These aren't just buzzwords. They're concrete ways to build a stronger, more resilient workforce, whichever future comes our way.
You know what this all comes down to, what this report really shows us, is that the future isn't some movie that we're all just going to sit back and watch. It's something that we build. These four scenarios, they're not predictions. They're blueprints for four very different worlds. And the world we actually end up in will come down to the choices we make right now about how we develop AI and, maybe more importantly, how we invest in our people. The future isn't written. So the real question is, which one will we choose to build?